Hello and welcome to the Rev It Up podcast, helping entrepreneurs fill up their tanks, crank up the RPMs, and put the pedal to the metal until they cross that finish line. Hello, I'm Jess Tiffany. Ready, set, go. Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of the Rev It Up podcast. I have Dr. Terri Levine with me today. And just super excited. I want to read this awesome intro that she has. Attention, natural health and wellness providers. It's not just enough to be good at what you do. You need to be able to attract patients. And I'm not just talking any clients. I'm talking dream patients on autopilot. Terri can help. Her name is Terri Levine. I've coached over 6,000 client family members over the past 4 decades and helped them build 6- and 7-figure businesses that generate income, impact, and lifestyle. Welcome to the show, Dr. Terri.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here, Jess.
All right. And I did say your name wrong at least once because I said it 2 different ways already. What's the best way to say it and where to find you online?
It's fine. It's Levine, Levine, and you can go to my Facebook group, which is where I hang out the most, and that's called Entrepreneurs with Terri Levine. And in Entrepreneurs with Terri Levine, I go in there, I do live trainings, go into the document section, I give away my very best tools, tips, and templates. So here to share and help.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Terri. And can you tell us a little bit about how you got your start in business and entrepreneurship and kind of where it's progressed to today?
Yeah. So I initially went to college to be a speech language pathologist, and I came out with my master's degree. I had no knowledge of business, sales, or marketing. And we moved from the East Coast to the Midwest, so I knew nobody. And I had the bright idea to start my own speech pathology clinic. So I had no idea how to get patients. And at the time, they needed to be referred by physicians. And it became a real struggle. And I was spending a lot of money in, rent and assistance. And I finally just literally sat my butt in a doctor's office one day and I wouldn't leave. I stayed for 6 hours till he finally marched out and said, I don't know what you want. What do you want? And I basically told him. And a few days later, he referred 3 patients. And then I went to other doctors and said, well, Dr. Elkhammer's referring. And pretty soon I built up this massive speech clinic. We added occupational therapy, physical therapy. We got contracts with nursing homes and hospitals. And I sold that business. I wasn't trying to. Somebody came in and bought it. Then I started a second business and a third. So this is my 8th business. I made one mistake along the way that I always want to tell people. I spent 5 years as president of a national healthcare company. I did not fit in. I'm too entrepreneurial. They loved me. They thought I was great. I hated it because I had ideas and they never wanted to implement. So 27 years ago, almost to the date, I just said one day, I'm done. I quit. I resigned. I started my consulting business. I had 30 clients in 30 days and I've never looked back. I know I'm doing the right thing.
Wow. That's absolutely fantastic. And I know recently you've kind of even niched down your practice even further. Can you tell us a little bit about how you did that and why you did that?
Yeah, so I've been doing this a long time. I've had over 6,000 clients in 400 different industries. Like I've been all over the place. I work with bigger companies too, like Ford and Merck and General Electric. I really like the smaller companies. We get more done faster. And I started to really look at the clients that were having the fastest success. So even though coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, authors, chiropractors, whatever, they were reaching double and tripling their income, which is awesome. I had this one category, which are functional medicine doctors, right? Integrative medicine, naturopaths. And like in 30 days, they were doing case studies going, I'm full every single day. I've only been with you 30 days. Now it's 60 days. I'm full every day. I brought a second doc. They're full 90 days. I'm like, okay. So I've decided really to go forward and to spend my time and my energy supporting them and really making a difference for them. It's not that I'm going to abandon all the other folks that I've, gotten and that I've worked with, but I truly am I'm spending time there. I started a Facebook group for them, Scale Your Integrative Medicine Practice. And I just am devoting a lot of time and energy there because I love when people get quick results.
Yeah, that's great. So you said they built case studies. How did you kind of get that lead generation going for them?
I've been, because I've owned 8 of my own totally different multi-million-dollar businesses, like even in this business, 30 clients in 30 days. I know how to actually create a conveyor belt of qualified leads. And I do mean conveyor belt. Like in my company, every day we average about 19 prospects, of which 9 are typically qualified, leads to probably 2 to 3 people a day that we invite to come into our company. Okay. So what I do is I look at their business, I look at who their target audience is, and we niche it down very specifically. And then I have a proprietary method of either finding those people on LinkedIn or on Facebook. And every single day, it's called reverse marketing. Instead of hunting for people, your ideal audience is raising your hand and saying, that's me. And then very simply, they're inviting them in for a very inexpensive blood consult. That's what we've decided to use. And from the blood consult, they're finding their results and then seeing if they're appropriate for treatment, and then offering packages of services, which most of them never did before.
Okay, very cool. And as far as back to the lead generation, are you doing more just, cause I know there's different schools of thought on that. Are you doing more of the magnetic, just organic, bringing people in with the amazing content and kind of doing that and engaging with people, or are you doing outreach as well, or both, kind of a combo of both?
Great question. So one of the many certifications I got when I was in like certification mania and got everything under the sun, as many people have, I got to work directly with Jay Conrad Levinson. I wrote 2 books with him, and I became a master certified guerrilla marketing and coach. And that is the essence of everything I do. It's all organic. It's all no cost. If anything, it's tiny cost. We don't do ads. We don't use pay-per-click or Facebook or any of that. And what we do is we just create one content piece called the Consumer Awareness Guide. And we create it well, we create it right on the simplest landing page. And every single day, all that's happening is a trained virtual assistant that we provide our client family members is literally just getting that in front of people. And we guarantee 40 prospects a month.
Wow. Are you doing that through LinkedIn messaging then to get it in front of people, or are you doing it just like posting?
Great question. So we do 2 things. One is an engagement. It's a hack. It's an engagement hack that we use, which can get a post 20 to 30,000 LinkedIn views. So we use an engagement hack and create that content. And then the second thing is when we connect with people, we truly connect. We don't use automation. We don't use software. We create standard operating procedures, which this virtual assistant is trained to engage in conversation, chat with people for 15 minutes. And if they're a good prospect, you bring them in for a patient evaluation. And it works the same, really. I tell people in every industry, if you own a spa, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you, whatever your company is, really doesn't matter. Just right now, we're fine tuning it in that particular area.
Okay, that's fantastic. I use a LinkedIn marketing cheat sheet, I call it. It's just a 2-pager, basically PDF, and I think we've gotten, I don't know, excess of 3,000 downloads of that over the last, half a year or year or so, just by, kind of letting people know about it, kind of like what you're saying there. But obviously a good lead magnet is key. And I always tell people the secret to LinkedIn is get people off of LinkedIn.
It's true. It's totally true.
Yeah. That's my experience. So, now we've gotten deals off of, directly through LinkedIn, messaging and stuff. I mean, that happens too, but really it's getting them on the phone and having a good old conversation.
I'm going to second that. And that's what our whole process is about. 15-minute conversations, 15 minute. And in the 15 minutes, we train the VAs really, really well so that they know in those 15 minutes, is this person qualified? Can we help this person? And if not, we don't want to waste their time or our time to go to the next step. But what you said is so key. I want people to really breathe that in. Get them off of LinkedIn, and I love the phone. Very few people seem to love the phone. The phone, in my experience, makes all the difference. So stop hiding behind a computer and have real conversations with people.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, I don't know, it's way back, but I worked as a telemarketer for a company, and you literally just dial, talk. But I tell you what, the experience of that, even though, I think I dreaded it maybe at the time, but getting the door slammed in your face, if you will, over and over and over and over again, hundreds of times a day, really built you up. So it's like now you talk to somebody and they're not interested. You're like, yeah, man, no big deal, whatever. But I will also admit I have gotten lazy the last few years, because now it's like I get a lot done on email and Messenger and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I have to call. Oh, it's kind of, but when I take the time and discipline myself to do it, it makes a massive difference, and it really does.
It does. And one of my little systems that I teach people is there need to be 5 conversations every business day, 5, and that means phone conversations. And I just got something from a client a few hours ago, and she's like, last week, I finally listened to you after a month of not. She said, and we have 9 new people, but it's all because we did talk to 5 people a day. So she's like, I'll keep doing it. Made my day.
Yeah. A lot of people don't they don't want to listen to their coach. They, and I've been guilty of that too, but
Me too.
yeah, I mean, I've got a speech coach. I got a writing coach, and like all these different coaches. And then, and then some weeks I'm like, oh, I didn't really do what you said.
Yeah.
But, so tell me a little bit about the how you've gotten so good at having clear messaging. Your copywriting is amazing from what I can see.
Thank you. So a couple of things. The first thing is that this was in my second business. I owned an art business. I started to really hear what people would say when I'd say, what do you do? And, they were giving that old elevator pitch or unique selling proposition. It was just filled with jargon. And I started creating something which now I've actually have a registered trademark for, which is called a core unique positioning statement, which means no one on the planet can say what you say. So like as an example, in my company, I say, I am the only business strategist who has the proprietary HEART method, which is trademarked, proprietary HEART method, which is guaranteed to bring 200% ROI right to your bottom line, or I pay you all your money back, plus I give you $5,000. Well, nobody else makes that claim. Nobody else stands behind their consulting in the way that I do, and nobody else has the proprietary HEART method. So I really, that's the first thing, is getting that clear. I know sometimes I drive my own client family members crazy when I'm like, not good enough, tweak it. That's better, tweak it. It's worth it, because when that foundational message is right and we integrate that into all of your marketing, that is when the reverse marketing happens. People raise their hand, they opt in, they call you, they go to your office or place the business. That really works. The second thing is, one of my very dear friends who I co-authored another book with, the successful coach, Dr. Joe Vitale, he shared his hypnotic writing with me. And I wanted to become a copywriter, but I didn't like the way most people wrote copy. And so Joe shared hypnotic copywriting, and I really resonated with it. And so all of my copy is really courtesy of how Joe taught me to copywrite.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, copy is huge. You could have the most, wonderful funnels and all this stuff, but if the copywriting isn't there and the messaging isn't clear, you might as well just pack up your bags and go home, because it's not going to work.
And I see that very often. Like, I've seen people's products or services or their webinars or their landing pages, and I'm like, their offer isn't stated well. The headline wouldn't get my attention. If they would just tweak that, they'd get a lot of results. And sadly, a lot of people have no experience writing copy, and they just write copy. So I do recommend that you either learn to write copy or hire someone who knows how to write copy.
And now, did you have a book on copying or something that covers that?
Funny question. So I'm on my 47th book. I'm like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love to write. And it's mentioned in copywriting is discussed in Turbocharge Your Business for Entrepreneurs. It's discussed in The Successful Coach. And in my upcoming book, I think it'll be out in August, The Conversion Equation, is discussed in there as well. So I can't get away from talking about that.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Good. And I assume Amazon's kind of the place, or Barnes and Noble type
Yeah,
stuff?
any bookstore, Amazon, wherever you buy books from, sure.
Hey everybody, Jess here. What if I could help your company find over $100,000 in hidden revenue streams in less than an hour without spending an extra dime on advertising or marketing? Reach out to me at cardzap.thebumpcard.me. Check out the video on 5 steps to profit, and also reach out and we can have a conversation. Thank you.
Well, everybody make sure you go get that, because again, copywriting is massively important. If you want your business to grow, I think that's definitely something you should invest some time and energy into researching. So can you give us maybe a couple, 1 or 2 examples of some great ways you've generated revenue that are maybe not what, the traditional guy would think of per person?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the first thing I always look at is I look at my customer's journey, my client's journey. What do they typically buy before they engage with me? What do they buy in addition to engaging with me, and what do they buy after? Now, instead of me having to go create what they buy before, what they buy after, and during, I've created a multitude of income streams by literally going to people and saying, hey, people buy from you first, like they set up a business with a corporate attorney or with a corporate accountant. When you have those people, will you send them over to me, and then I'll be their business consultant and I'll refer people back to you. So I have about 10 people at the beginning of the buying journey where a client family member comes to me. Then during their time buying me, they might need other services. They might need a LinkedIn generation expert, Facebook, depending on their business, Instagram, Pinterest. They might need a content creator. They might need somebody to design their webinar, their slides. So there's a ton of different people in the middle. Sometimes they actually need mindset coaching, right? I'm a business consultant. I'm also a clinical psychologist, and I'm also a certified life coach, but I don't do that. That's not what I do. So I send them somewhere else. However, those are income streams for me as well. There's income flowing in from those referrals. And then on the other end, I've had many people who've grown their businesses to high 7 figures and 2 that have gone to 8. And then they want to sell. And so then I have exit strategists on the other side. So I really believe that every single person needs to look at where your person is and what do they do before, what do they do after, and what do they do during. In some cases, you can bring those things into your business and package more services. You and I were talking about the fact that now we're going to be leveraging our virtual assistants and generating leads for tons more people. That's comes from looking at what do people need. And the last thing I'll say, it's not just that you want to make more money. I'm not all about the money. I am about making the biggest impact to your clients, your patients, your customers. So what else do they need?
Nice. Oh, that's powerful. It's interesting because so my entire business model is almost exactly kind of what you said. When I started, I was like, okay, I'm super good at LinkedIn, and and that's what I wrote my book on and all that stuff, and I'm good at some other stuff. And I was kind of a jack of all trades a little bit, but I was like, but I don't want to. I want the best people, not just me being like the best at one thing and then pretty good at everything else. So I said, okay, who's the best search engine optimization person that I know in the country? Who's the best, website designer, graphic designer, and I basically built kind of a team of other companies that are part of my team now. It's kind of an interesting dynamic, but it's basically just joint ventures, kind of like you said.
Great model.
Yeah. So the difference is what I like about what you're doing is you're doing more, this person feeds into this person, feeds into this person, feeds into this person. Mine's more, a little bit more disjointed, I guess, if you will. But I really like how you're putting those pieces together, and then so you can kind of grow and be the go-to person for somebody too. As far as knowing the right people for them to talk to. So I think that's super powerful. So what is I know your other book is coming in August. What is your newest book that was out?
So there are 2 that are kind of out at the same time. There's Turbocharge Your Business for Entrepreneurs, and that's anyone who wants to do business without pitching, manipulating, hunting for clients, patients, or customers. And the other book is Turbocharge Your Business for Women Entrepreneurs. And it is actually quite different. Women's brains are actually different. Men and women do not have the same biological makeup. We think differently, we respond differently, and we definitely do business differently. So this is after dissecting over 3,000 women-owned businesses, as well as my own 8 businesses. And it's a whole game plan for how to succeed in business as a woman entrepreneur.
Okay. So like, what would you say is like the biggest difference between men and women's brains as far as how they build a business?
So women are known for their emotional intelligence, and I'm not saying men don't have that. In fact, I would say that my male clients have tons of it. I mean, tons of it. We use that on a regular basis without even thinking. It's kind of how we function in the world. We're always tapped into feelings first. Men's brains tend to tap into logic first and emotion second. And by the way, I've had a couple of men read the book and say to me, I learned so much more about how to communicate now with my female prospects. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest differences. We speak differently, we write differently, and we clearly communicate differently. Even I've been a keynote speaker for thousands of conferences, and I was on, I won't say who it was, but I was on a male's platform, a very famous marketer. And it was the first time he ever had a female. He's always only had males, right? And somebody told him to have me. And he said to me in the green room, before I went on stage, I'll always remember this. He went, I'm taking a real chance having a woman. Women are weak, right? I was like, wow, that's interesting philosophy. So I crush it with this audience, and he makes 50% of the sales, and I do $1 million and like goes almost 1,000,001 right now. He gets 50%. There's always some cancellations. That's still a lot of money in 90 minutes, right?
Yeah, wow.
Did he invite me back? No. Okay, I sold more than anyone else. He made more. Why didn't he invite me back? Because I'm a woman. So there's a very interesting, and I just want to say this, there's an interesting energy. My experience is the reason I sold more than anyone else isn't because I'm the best speaker. It isn't because I close, because I actually don't. It isn't because I'm pushy, manipulative. I actually just go out there emotionally using my raw self and my personality, and the audience connects with that. So now I teach that to my male speakers. You want to bring some more female energy in. And if you're working with women, you're going to close a lot more women doing it. So I don't know, I got distracted. I hope that was valuable in some way.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think it seems kind of ignorant to that person, their attitude.
Hilarious.
But, you know, I guess it is what it is. Sometimes people have their opinions on things, even if we don't agree with them. So, Terri, where do people find you online? What's the best way to reach out and connect?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So if they go to my website, which is entrepreneurial.com, gosh, there's thousands of articles there. Lots of major bloggers blog there. You can get connected to my online masterclass, which is how you can actually create for free a conveyor belt of qualified prospects. On LinkedIn, I'm Terri Levine. On Instagram and all of that, I'm at Mentor Terri, and I'm super active on Facebook. If you just put in my name, Terri Levine, you'll see Heartrepreneur Terri Levine, and again, the Facebook group Heartrepreneurs with Terri Levine, which has about 5,300 other business owners actually doing business together.
Nice, that's fantastic. And if you could tell us your perfect dream client again, so that they make sure they especially reach out.
Thanks for asking. So if you are, or if you know somebody who is a doctor of functional medicine, a doctor of integrative medicine, naturopath, or even someone who's like integrative medicine or integrative health, nutritionist or dietitian, definitely reach out. We have a ton of resources, including one I'm giving away right now, which is how to create $1 million integrative medicine practice. So if you're in that field at all, just reach out. I'll be happy to send it to you. It's totally free. It's my gift. Fantastic.
And is there an internal medical person that's outside of that? I mean, if they're under $1 million, obviously that you can help them get to $1 million. Is there like a cap of that?
No, there really isn't. I have a pretty new client family member now. She has an integrative medicine clinic, and there's 23 professionals working there, and they're doing many, many millions of dollars. They may even try and take the company public. So I've worked with big businesses as well as small, Ford, General Electric, Merck, over 38 hospital associations, 9 hospitals. So I can help if you're the right person and if you have the right attitude and really want to grow organically and scale and work less and have a life. Because if you don't want to have a life, I don't want to work with you. So that's who I'm here to help, Jess.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Terri. I really appreciate you being on today. And for those listening, I've got the opportunity to hear her speak, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Her insights on scaling 6, 7, 8 figures is outstanding, and she really knows her stuff. And so definitely check out her Facebook at minimum, and find her online. It'll be a treat for you. And again, everybody, thank you so much for listening today, and make sure you like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode. Again, thank you, Dr. Terri.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody, we'll see you soon.